How did the Romans talk about places in Roman Britain? In this video, I'm going to dive into what the Latin place names were for the new province of Britannia. So in AD 43, the Emperor Claudius decided that he needed a military victory under his belt. Now he looked around at the empire and thought, well, quite a lot of this has already been conquered. And then he looked north at this unimposing, unimportant island in the middle of the ocean. Now, Julius Caesar himself had tried and sort of failed to conquer Britannia. And so Claudius thought, if I can do that, people will respect me. I will do what Julius Caesar didn't even manage to do. So he set off to conquer Britannia. And he did so. And as his troops moved from the south coast to the north of the island, they set up colonies. They set up colonia. And these became place names. And some of them are very similar to the names we use today. So the first one, from around 43 to 49 AD, is Colchester. Now the Romans called that Camulodunum. There are variations in how things are spelt, so you might see Canulodumum or Canulodunum, but generally the accepted one that scholars use is Camulodunum. Now Colchester was very important. It got given the title Colonia Claudia Victricensis, and that means the colony of Claudius's victory. So it was named after Claudius himself. And Colchester very proudly still say they are the oldest recorded town in Britain, the oldest town to have a proper name and a proper settlement. They were a city in the Roman times, and they've recently been remade a city by the late Queen Elizabeth II. So they are very proud of their Roman heritage. They actually have the only Roman chariot racing arena in Britain. So Colchester was a very important town in the Roman time. But it did not stay the most important town for very long. Londinium was established in around AD 47, London, and that's because it had access to the River Thames. The river in Colchester was quite narrow, whereas the River Thames that ran through this area of the country was much wider and more accessible. Unfortunately, just like Colchester, Londinium was destroyed by Boudicca in the period of 60 to 61 AD. After both Colchester and Londinium were destroyed, Londinium was rebuilt and became the most important town. It became the capital of Britannia, the capital of the Roman province, and it is still today the capital of England and Britain. In the 60s AD, Anglesey was named Mona. Now this actually was possibly a failed attempt at colonization, because the Romans didn't manage to defeat the people of Anglesey. It took them a long time, and they were fighting back very aggressively. So the Romans didn't actually manage to fully pacify this area. And actually, Anglesey was a very important centre of Druid worship as well. So people who were against the Romans, people that the Romans didn't understand and thought were very unusual. Also in the 60s, Bath was set up, and Bath in Latin is known as Aquae Sulis. Now this means the waters of Sulis. Sulis was a goddess of the Britons, who the Romans sort of amalgamated into their own pantheon. They started to show her as looking like the goddess Minerva, the Roman goddess of wisdom, who is related to the Greek goddess Athena. And the reason it is called the waters of Sulis is that it is a natural hot water spring. It was effectively a holiday resort for Roman soldiers and colonists who had come over. You can still go to the museum today in modern Bath. It's wonderful. You can see how luxurious these bathhouses would have been, especially with this natural hot water spring. As the Romans moved north in the AD 70s, they set up Eboracum. Now, Eboracum is where York currently is today. It means yew tree place, so we have to assume there were lots of yew trees on the site of this city. Eboracum was very important in the north. It actually became the largest Roman city in the north. It had a huge Roman fort for the army, and it also had a vicus, which is a settlement of civilians outside it on the other side of the river. So it was really important for trade routes. It was very important for anyone going north to fight the Celts, the Scots. And York is very proud of its Roman history and has lots of it on display, so it's very interesting to go and see if you get the chance. Later in the 70s, in AD 79, the Romans set up Mancunium. Now this is Manchester, and we still keep the word Mancunian from that today for anyone who is from Manchester. They have this reconstructed Roman gate that they have built from the foundations and from descriptions of these gates in lots of different fortresses, so you can actually see what the Roman gate would have looked like. And this gate leads to the walled fort of the garrison. So this fort was surrounded by walls, it was quite large, and again it had a vicus like York, like Eboracum. It had a town outside of the fortress which would have civilians that used to serve the soldiers. In AD 122, continuing their northern push, Pons Aelius was made. Now this is Newcastle. Pons Aelius means the bridge of Hadrian. This is because Hadrian had come to Britannia and was surveying the furthest extremes of Roman control. He is the one who built Hadrian's Wall in the north of England. We think that the end of the wall originally was in Newcastle before it was extended slightly to a place now called Wall's End, for obvious reasons. But originally the wall would have ended in Newcastle, in Pons Aelius, and then a bridge, they think, went over the river in order to help people get to and from the wall to defend the Roman power. It was quite an unimportant Roman settlement, actually. Sorry to anyone in Newcastle, I love it, but it is quite far on the extremes of the empire. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of knowledge about what happened in Roman Newcastle. That's my chronological idea of some Latin place names from Roman Britain. Have I missed any really important ones? Let me know. If there's anywhere you live or somewhere you've been to visit that you think I should have included, let me know in the comments. And I'll see you next time on bambasbat.